What is good, everyone? Welcome to this video. I'm Charlie from Conscious Creation, and in this video I would like to share with you the Great Awakening. Now, I'm not a scientist, I'm not a guru, I've just pieced this information together and it makes a lot of sense to me, and I really want to share it with you. Now, I recently lost my voice in the last couple of days, so I'll do my best to work around that. But I'm going to start talking about a chap called Harold Aspen, and he was a scientist that figured out that our sun has its own space domain. So we've been taught that our sun's in one position and that the planets are going around it in that of gravitational pull. He proved this to be incorrect and says that our sun is actually maneuvering through space with the planets going around it. As it's maneuvering through space, it uses something called a geometrical force field in order for this to actually work. Now, a chap called Paul Laviolette in 1993 came up with something called the Galactic superwave theory, which is the theory that our central sun is giving off these bursts of energy, which is affecting our sun, the energy it gives off, and therefore affecting us on this planet. And as our sun is maneuvering through space, these astrological alignments are taking place. And as these astrological alignments are taking place, our sun is eventually going to get enough energy from our central sun to make a quantum leap into that of a blue star.
You're not making any sense at all.
This brings in all sorts of prophecies, like that of the Hopi prophecy. They talk about this, the Hopis talk about this, that they say when the blue star Kachina rises in the sky, the fifth world will emerge. Now, a chap called Dewey B. Larson, who studied stellar evolution of stars, talks about how stars evolve. Now, we have been taught that it goes from a blue star to a red star. He showed this to be incorrect and that it actually works the other way around. How we've got a large red star, it gets smaller, it compresses, it goes into that of an orange star, then to a yellow star, then into a yellow white star, then eventually to that of a blue star. And it's in this transition of making that quantum jump into a blue star. Now, our planet has an electromagnetic field going around it. There's something called the magnetic North Pole and the magnetic South Pole. So we've got the physical North and the physical South, but the magnetic one is the one helping create this electromagnetic field around our planet that helps protect us from things like solar flares, so big bursts of energy from our sun. These magnetic poles have been shifting quite a lot, which is actually weakening our electromagnetic field. And it's even having an effect on the things on this planet. If you look at things like whales that have been beaching or birds that have been migrating to the wrong place, it's because they all use this electromagnetic field as a compass, and that has been diminishing. So as these astrological alignments have been taking place and we have been getting these extra bursts of energy from our central sun hitting our sun, it is combined with a weakened electromagnetic field from our planet. Now, if you want to learn a bit more about this, I recommend watching the documentary Solar Shift. It talks about how the sun's energy, this extra energy, is actually affecting our human consciousness. I'm going to talk about something called the Schumann resonance, which is also referred to as the Earth's heartbeat. Now, the Schumann resonance is normally at 7.83 hertz, and most of life is attuned to this resonance. When you go for a walk in nature, you feel good because your brainwaves are tuning to this Schumann resonance, 7.83 hertz, that of alpha brainwaves. Now, if you are able to tune your body to this resonance, you're very, very good at fighting things like that of illnesses. Much of our illnesses today come from not being attuned to the Schumann resonance. Due to these bursts of energy from our sun, from our central sun, is the Schumann resonance is having spikes, and it's started happening in 2012. So as our sun has been making its way through space and these astrological alignments have been taking place since that of 2012, is the Schumann resonance has been having spikes. So these bursts of energy from our sun is creating this Schumann spike, and it's going as high as 90 to 100 hertz, which is way, way, way above that of the normal. We've got brainwaves, we've got beta, alpha, theta, and delta, and we've even got something called gamma brainwaves, which is like this supercharged energy within the brain. It's when the brain receives this extra energies. A lot of yogis do it by pushing the energy up to the brain, and your brain becomes like that of a supercomputer if you manage to get it to that of gamma brainwaves. But even these Schumann spikes are going way above that of gamma brain waves. Now, as this happens, as this stuff hits our planet and these spikes are happening, they only last for about 1 or 2 hours, because we would be in a lot of trouble if they lasted a lot longer, because they bring a lot of kind of mental eruption and anxiety to the surface because of the power and the intensity of this energy. So whenever these spikes happen, sometimes it's almost like this purge is going on, and this unhealed trauma within people comes to the surface to then be healed. If you look at a chap called Dan Winter, who's a very smart chap, he discovered that our heart actually gives off these bliss frequencies. So if we connect to our heart in the right way, we can attune to these bliss frequencies. Now, he talks about DNA, and that 97% of our DNA is junk DNA. It's not junk DNA, it just hasn't been activated yet, and that we only use 3% of our DNA. But he claims that when our heart starts to attune to these bliss frequencies, is that dormant DNA starts to become activated. If you look at my video, The Secrets of the Heart, I talk about that when you try and connect to your heart space or maneuver into that part of your body, it can feel very uncomfortable, and you get this pulling the feeling away from it if you feel, or if you're holding a lot of trauma in your energy field. And so we can't attune to those bliss frequencies. So as the Schumann resonance is increasing, it's giving us an opportunity to purge this unhealed trauma within ourselves, so we can then find it easier to connect to our heart space, attune to these bliss frequencies, and actually start to activate that of our dormant DNA. So just to sum it up for you, is our sun is maneuvering through space. There's certain astrological alignments that are taking place, and we're getting these additional bursts from the center of our sun, from the central sun, and that's hitting our sun, having an effect on our Schumann resonance, which is having these spikes, which is releasing a lot of this trauma and unhealed parts within ourselves, making it easier for us to connect to our heart and to these bliss frequencies, therefore activating more of our DNA. Now, if we manage to activate more of our DNA and connect more to our heart center, is we tap more into our divinity and we start to take our power back. Coming back to Paul LaViolette in 1993, he also figured out when this has actually happened in the past. He went to the polar ice caps and he saw a buildup of cosmic dust in the polar ice caps, and he saw these patterns. And he saw when there were major ones and when there were minor ones. And they saw that every 13,000 years that there were these major buildup of cosmic dust. And that aligns with the precession of the equinox, which aligns with all the alignments that are actually going on at the moment. So I think this is just a theory, it's just hypothesized, but what I would get from this is that this activation of our DNA is almost prepping us so our sun can then make this quantum jump into that of a blue star. So thank you for watching. I will be a free meditation below that can help you with the process of connecting to your heart center if you want to give it a go. Apart from that, peace, much love, and take care.